6 years after Mr. Kim took power and began slaying those who challenged his rule, sometimes with an anti-aircraft gun, there's no issue that confounds analysts more than the motives of a 33-year-old dictator. After North Korea's underground test on Sunday, more is now known about the power of his nuclear arsenal, but still very little is known about Kim's intentions. Back in the 1990s, American officials lamented that Pyongyang was the hardest of hard intelligence targets. This hasn't changed. There's no US embassy in North Korea and no American business community, so the CIA has very few assets to work in the first place. Even the South Koreans have trouble running agents and gathering human intelligence. National Security Agency of the US also doesn't have much to intercept. That's because most of the country is not connected to the internet and few people have cell phones. The Hwasong-14 missile and the 100 kiloton nuke test represent the country's most sophisticated weapons demonstration. In this video, Defense Updates looks at 5 reasons why Kim Jong-un is going for missiles and nuke tests.
Number 5.
In North Korea, 40% of the population, about 24 million people, live below the poverty line. Most workers earn $2 to $3 per month. The standard of living has deteriorated to extreme levels of deprivation, while the average life expectancy has fallen by 5 years since the early 1980s. With the prevalent poverty in North Korea, food shortages are widespread. The food crisis has resulted in thousands of deaths. According to the World Food Program, 1/3 of children are stunted due to malnutrition, and the infant mortality rate is 33%. Due to the government's 2 meals a day campaign, food riots are a common occurrence. Although the country declares that healthcare is free, residents are denied medical treatment unless they can pay the high prices for medicine. The situation can result in widespread agitations and can make Kim vulnerable. The Kim family has kept a tight grip on North Korea internally through a brutal system of repression and fear. Nuclear test and rhetoric against Americas is a way to fan the nationalistic fervor and present Kim as a strong leader standing against the US.
Number 4.
Another major reason why North Korea is developing a nuclear capability is that its conventional military is dated and there are doubts about whether it can defend itself. While North Korea has an estimated 1.2 million soldiers, making it the 3rd largest military behind China and the United States, but almost all of its military hardware equipping the force is obsolete. For example, the North Korean military is in possession of a fleet of about 70 submarines, comprised of approximately 20 Romeo-class submarines, 1,800 tons, 40 Sang-O-class submarines, 300 tons, and 10 Yono-class submarines, 130 tons. Though the quantity is impressive, the quality is not. All of these submarines use diesel-electric propulsion and were designed in the 50s or 60s. Also, these can operate mainly within the 50-kilometer exclusion zone of North Korea, enabling easier detection as the search envelope is small. North Korea has a fleet of different kinds of fighters, which even includes Chinese derivatives of very old fighters like MiG-17 and MiG-19. The MiG-29 is the Korean People Army's Air Force, KPAF, most modern fighter, and it operates approximately only 40 of these.
Number 3.
The United Nations imposed its harshest sanctions yet against North Korea, with the Security Council voting unanimously to punish the regime for developing ballistic missiles that could reach Japan and the United States. The tough new sanctions would prohibit export of North Korean coal, iron ore, lead ore, and seafood. These industries account for about 1/3 of all North Korean exports, and the new restrictions could cost the country about $1 billion in revenue. The resolution also sets new limits on North Korea's foreign trade bank by banning new joint ventures between North Korea and foreign companies. It prohibits new foreign investments in North Korean ventures and caps the number of workers the country can send abroad. The income from those workers' earnings has been a key source of revenue for the Kim regime. It must be noted that further sanctions are on their way. The sanctions will undoubtedly hurt the already isolated North Korean economy. Keeping in view the dire economic condition of the nation, North Korea may use the nuclear weapons to blackmail the UN into rolling back the sanctions and provided aid.
Number 2.
North Korea wishes to use its nuclear arsenal as a lever to force the US president to abide by its strategic demands in the Korean Peninsula. This mainly includes removal of American forces from South Korea. US and North Korea are still technically at war, with 28,500 American soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines in South Korea. US forces in South Korea are a major presence in the region. The US and South Korea conduct regular joint military exercises. Whenever such joint exercises take place, North Korea accuses the South and the United States of preparing for an invasion and often conducts its own military exercises and missile tests.
Number 1.
Kim is prepared to push back against the United States and its allies to a point, many believe, but never enough to risk a war that would threaten his rule as a third-generation strongman in a family dynasty that took hold after World War II. His endgame is all about seeking to stay in power. Kim is taking into account the tales of Muammar Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein, two men who lost their power and their lives because American presidents either didn't believe or didn't care that they had given up their nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapon is a way to prevent any chance of regime change. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.